It's good to have you back on the show, Christine. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. A lot has changed since you were on our show last. Most most notably, so we met through you called them your long posts on Facebook when you had posted about your heart attack, which was now, we did the math before we came on the air, almost 7 years ago.
Crazy.
Long time. And I share that post every year. And I don't know, you've said people have reached out to you and it's saved lives. And that's a remarkable thing. And then since that time, your life has changed considerably. And we've had you on the show before. It was a couple of years ago talking about your sobriety, but we're going to take a deeper dive into the business you've made, that even trademarking the term, which is amazing, and also your son. So where should we start?
Well, let's start with December 15th and what that means to me now, because that is the date of the anniversary of my heart attack. And that is now the day that I'll remember as the day that I took my son home from the hospital. The 5-year anniversary of my heart attack, which is just the stars aligning in such a crazy way. So yes, hospitals have a different feeling, but also a very special meaning. And, we were talking about this earlier, but how I now think of my sobriety, as more often than I do my heart attack. I forget that I had a heart attack. It was everything to me for a little while there. And now sobriety and motherhood, staying sober as a mom.
Well, that heart attack being everything to you for a while, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to get you through that season of your life. And I know you did a lot of reflection and you were completely transparent on social media about it and just kind of taking that year after, going wherever, doing whatever. And that included a lot of drinking and a lot of having to take a look. So you talked about how fortunate you feel that you got sober before you got pregnant. And you were 42 years old when you got pregnant with Ashton. And you'd kind of already thought, I might not be having kids.
He is a total surprise. And I had broken up with my son's dad, my ex, and I had kind of just made this decision. Or this reconciliation that, you know what, maybe it's just not in the cards for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to be a mom. And as I'm kind of just doing the math of did I miss a period? I was under so much stress in that little window of time, that 13 and a half week period of time where I'm like, maybe.
And you weren't thinking maybe early menopause or something.
I'm thinking early menopause. I'm like, the only sign of maybe pregnancy was that I was really tired. So when I took that pregnancy test, I was like, oh my goodness. I was not expecting it. I was not.
Well, let's talk about where you were in your life then. Okay, you had chosen to get sober. You'd gone to, did you call it rehab? I have a friend who went, she calls it camp.
It does feel like adult sleepaway camp. But what I love about this particular rehab, it is dual diagnosis. So addiction meets mental health. And I think that was very good for me.
And you had worked in the restaurant and in the restaurant industry. You love a pretty bar. You couldn't really imagine never having a shiny glass in your hand. And I always love when you share how you were drinking, not so great wine out of a red cup on your way to rehab. And
yes, I was drinking cheap Chardonnay in the car on the way to rehab. And I was like, God, I really should have planned this better for my last hurrah. Cinco de Mayo. And I'm like, why did I plan this better?
Wasn't even a margarita then. So you went to rehab and you made a decision, and we've talked about this on the show before, that this needs to look different for you for it to work. And you started, I feel like, I'm not sure which came first. So you started bringing awareness to me. I was learning from you about being sober curious, kind of the term we hear a lot now. And I don't know if it's because I wasn't curious before, or because I know you and you brought that curiosity to me and to so many people, or if it was already happening. I'm not sure which came first. And I know people were talking about it already, but I hear it so much more now. And I'm not sure if it's because I'm paying more attention because I know this is part of what you do in your life. So, sober curiosity, let's explain that. It seems obvious, but let's just talk about that specifically and share what it was looking like for you. What did you want sober curious to look like for you in your messaging specifically?
Well, so it starts for me with I was an event planner in my previous lifetime. I was the So Fun girl, and I lived in New York City, and I was, last man standing ish, and uh, like giving up restaurants and giving up like going out and dinner parties and all that kind of like looked so dark to me. It kind of just looked like death. What kind of life is that going to be? And so for me, I went through the motion of the going to AA meetings and what I was doing, what I was supposed to do, a lot of, the self-reflection, gratitude journaling, all that stuff. But I was told to stay away from bars and restaurants. I was told to not sit at the bar. I was told to not have mocktails and non-alcoholic beer. And, I maybe I'm the push the envelope girl. Maybe I'm but not the push the envelope, but don't always do as I say, as I'm told. But in my heart, in my gut, I was like, I don't want it to be alcohol. So if it is not alcohol, why is it wrong? I want to sit at the bar and I want to talk to the bartender. I want to talk to the person on my right and on my left. So I needed this happy medium. I needed to find this space or create it. So that is what On the Mocks is and what I wanted it to be. And so I got sober in May of 2019. It wasn't until March of 2020 that I created this Facebook group. It just started with, I was by no means a mixologist or cocktail expert or mocktail expert. It was about starting this place or this group where people could come and bring their ideas and their finds.
Right.
My first drink that was like pushing the envelope was a Heineken Zero that I'm drinking at 2:00 on a Tuesday, Wednesday. But I literally felt like I was looking over my shoulder, going to get caught, being in trouble, that I had destroyed my sobriety. But it's not alcohol. It can't get me drunk. And that was, a certain class of people that say that you shouldn't because it's a slippery slope back to your old ways. But I don't want to go back. I'm going forward. And this is for what, it's your placebo. And that's okay. If you're insecure about your boobs, you can wear a padded bra. If you want to be brunette and you're blonde, dye your hair. It's going to make you feel better. We have these things, options that make you feel better, that this isn't going to change. I know what work I have to do. There's a lot of times where I say, I want to drink, but I have to breathe through it. I cannot hide or escape, or run away.
Yeah.
So those are the things. But anyway, that's what On the Mocks and sober curiosity.
I'm going to say that in the next segment. So let's take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about On the Mocks, which you have trademarked. And I know how hard that is to do, but owning your intellectual property is brilliant. So we'll be back with more with Christine in just a moment. We're back talking with Christine Wayne. We've been talking about the sober curious, a revolution, really. There's a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people dabbling in it, a lot of people living it 100% the way that you do. But not everyone's building a business of it. And you and I were talking when you were first getting started, and you said, I don't really know exactly how I want to work this. And it was just kind of the coupon code was becoming a big deal, and having affiliates and being an affiliate and these beautiful boxes that people are curating with different things in them. Yours happen to be mocktail related. Came up with the idea on the mocks. You create a Facebook group. You know, when we start a Facebook group, there's one person in it. And now how many are in there?
About 7,200.
And then you also have on the mocks for Instagram.
Instagram, 7,500 or so. And, you know, and, I mean, there's and that's what's cool about that is that really it's not all the same people. There's Instagrammers that are not on Facebook, especially the 20 somethings. And then, you know, my mom is on Facebook. She is not on Instagram. So he's got people there. And
so some of it's a crossover, but a lot of it isn't.
Yeah.
And on the mock, so you decided to have it trademarked, and that's not a simple thing to do. A lot of people don't think to do it. So now you applied for the registration of on the mocks and you got it. And I hear that term a lot, so I don't know how much you're going to want to try to defend your trademark, but you have it. And your intention from the start was to create this movement where people could explore mocktails and not necessarily telling everyone drinking is bad, you need to quit. Not saying that at all. Saying, here are some options and you can make them beautiful and taste good and all the things. So you say you're not a mixologist, but you kind of are. Your bar and your display and your presentation, all of that obviously comes from your background in the restaurant business. But what does it mean to you to have a pretty drink as opposed to not so great Chardonnay in a red cup on your way to rehab, right? To make it look pretty and enjoy it. Does that makes a difference for you?
It sure does. Well, to start though, when I was in the restaurant industry, I held every position except for bartender. So I was a waitress. I was an event manager. I did marketing, but I did not do the bartending. And I was drinking a lot of wine and not a lot of cocktails. So I had to learn how to use a jigger and a cocktail shaker and what, for an ounce to 1.5 ounces and 2 ounces, how that would change the sweet to the sour to these different spirits. So I am learning and I'm learning every day. And it was just 1 year ago that I was terrified of making videos of cocktails because I didn't think I was good enough. And now a company would pay me to make videos for them because they're like, no, you're good enough. So part of On the Mocks, while it's a business in marketing and affiliate with affiliates and co-branding.
That's a whole other part of the industry you had to learn.
Yeah, but that's what I love. It's like arts and crafts. Making a cocktail to me, part of it is the drinking and part of it is the creating and the layering. I loved art in my younger years, but then onto high school and even into college. So for me, there's a therapeutic component to when I'm in a cocktail mood. And then there's like the really stressful mood, like I need a drink. I need to hold something in my hand. I need to chug something. That's a different feeling or moment. But when I'm in put on some music and just make a cocktail and sip, it's the pretty glass. I have different shaped ice. I do like to mix, and that's I have all the different spirits. I mean, my apartment looks like a bar. I do explain when people come in. I'm like, just so you know, that's all non-alcoholic. Because I mean, even if I didn't have a problem, it would look like I had a problem. Because it was like, I mean, even if I did, I don't know how to phrase. It looks like there's a lot of bottles, so it's kind of funny. And then I like garnishes. Like I just feel like it needs a garnish. I buy so much fruit at the grocery store. I'm like constantly trying to the expiration date. So for me on the mocks, it's like, and these pretty drinks, it's something missing. It's the alcohol, but you're adding, there's something that helps you forget what's missing.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to just take a bubbly water and put it in a pretty glass. I'll do that when we're getting ready to watch a movie or binge some show or something. And I put it in the place where I might put a drink or I might put I have my water bottle with me all the time. And it's a replacement that seems like a simple swap without all of the things that are attached, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, all the things that can be connected to a drink for someone. And the other part too is, there are a lot of people who, when we talk about sober curious, who are curious about their alcohol use and how much is too much. And there are apps now that can say, okay, what's your goal? Is it to drink less? Is it to, only drink in social settings? It's all these different ways of really taking one piece of your health and saying, okay, what do I need to change here? Aside from folks who really truly are in a place in their lives where they won't ever touch a drink again, or they will work
Right.
toward that goal for the rest of their lives. And you're saying that you can be both. And if it's right for you, depending on the person, it's okay to have a pretty glass in your hand.
Yes. So every now and then the question will come up like, is can I can I drink the non-alcoholic beer? Can I drink the alcohol removed wine? Right. And that is that is going to have to come down to the person and where they are in their journey. Are you sober curious, or are you in recovery? If red wine was your favorite drink and it caused a lot of bad things to happen, and traumatic events, then maybe a red wine that tastes that, because the red wines are getting more and more like tasting like red wine. We were complaining about them about a year or two ago that they were tasted like grape juice. Now they're tasting like red wine. If that can be triggering, if in a way that's, well, first of all, there could be emotional, right? But it could also be, bring you back to, I'm craving. So you have to just tell yourself, I don't want this taste like red wine, but I'm so glad it's not.
Right.
I'm so like it, so you have to know where you are in the journey. If you don't, so,
Right.
like I wasn't a beer drinker. I know that this isn't like, I'm just like, I am so glad that there's beer that tastes like beer, and that this isn't alcohol, and then I won't have a hangover, and that isn't going to make me call my ex.
The no hangover
Right.
recipe. I'll tell you, nobody misses that.
Right. So
Nobody misses
it's important to not romanticize like alcohol. I often hold on to my worst moments and not my best. Like nope. Okay, play the tape forward. Nope. Don't want to go there. Don't want to go there.
that.
I don't need alcohol. I'm so glad I have my replacements.
Right.
My mocks.
Your box. Well, I want to take a break. And in this last segment, I want to talk about the business side of things. And just starting from 0 Facebook followers, 0 Instagram followers, moving on to where you are now. So we'll take a break and we'll come right back. We're back talking with Christine Wayne. So we've been talking about the sober, curious revolution, for lack of a different term. And let's talk about On the Mocks, which is your business, your trademark. Like I said, I don't know if I got curious about this because you're my friend and I was seeing you do it, or if it had been done before and is being done now, but it's definitely a bigger thing now than it used to be. And you're a single mom, you work from home. I know you had some dilemma deciding, do you put your son in daycare? Do you not? Can you afford it? Can you afford not to? A lot of single moms have that challenge. A lot of married moms have that challenge, and trying to decide what the balance is and trying to get the work done. And you have a way of making the affiliate marketing and the things that you're doing really, really sexy, for lack of a better term. Just that really make it interesting, and that you can take all these different aspects of business, figure out what works, and then just keep moving forward. So for people who are curious, when you start from really nothing, 0 followers, 0 people interested in what you're doing, to where you are now, what are some of the things that didn't work so well? So is affiliate marketing where they have a code, is that as great as people make it seem, or is that a harder way to go about business? What are some of the yeses and nos about the things you've tried so far? You had a box that you were launching, and then I know that you found out a few days later you were
Okay.
pregnant. So
Well, yeah.
time
So
right.
yeah. So the box was, we launched the Mox box June 4th. I found out I was pregnant June 14th. So that was a stressful time. We're going to go back to probably creating that. I want to have more control over uh, doing that, but the cost of running a small business is hard. Of buying all the inventory and having it at home, but there's something to be said about piecing it together, showing that process to the viewers, to those on social media that are following you at your journey, like that see you wake up early, see you go to bed late, but also like have your kids in the background while you're putting the box together. I think that has more emotional value than having your box
It's storytelling.
it's storytelling. Exactly. Then having your box come from another company that was pieced it together. And then you just said, hey guys, like I'm partnered with this company. Will you go buy my box? So there's two ways of doing that. Now, affiliate marketing, anything you're passionate about, if you niche down, you're passionate about, I'm looking at ice cooler in the background, ice coolers. And like, you just like, small ones, big ones, and you just want to do an Instagram account of just ice coolers. You start this Instagram account of just ice coolers. Then any company that like makes ice coolers is going to start paying attention because you're like, oh my God, this girl like knows a lot about ice coolers, right? And then they're going to be like, but wait a minute, why isn't she mentioning our ice cooler? She needs one. She needs one of ours. Then they're going to be like, will you talk about ours if I send you a free one? They're going to be like, yeah. Okay. But then after a while, you're going to be like, no, I don't need any more free ice coolers. You want to be on my Instagram?
Yeah.
It's going to cost $150.
Yeah.
And you got to send me the free one.
Yeah.
So that's how you build that ice cooler Instagram. But then, then it's like, well, everyone's coming to me for the ice coolers. So I want to offer my people 10% off. Then you do a promo code, and then people are like, oh, okay, like, use ice cooler 101 for my, you get 10% off, and the company might give you 10% commission. However, all of a sudden they're at Target. They're like, oh my God, it's on that awesome ice cooler account. I'm just going to buy it right here. It's 10% off.
Right.
Ice cooler lady does not get 10%.
So you're the one who introduced them to the ice cooler 101. And then when they saw it, they were thought of you and how much they liked it. They bought it. You get no cut, even though you spent all this energy educating them.
All this energy. So where does it come back to ice cooler lady is when she hopefully starts charging flat fees with cooler people because she's putting a lot of work into getting all her people excited about coolers.
I wish we had more time because I think we could do an education just on building out this type of business because so many people are interested in it and don't know where to start. But we're pretty much out of time.
Well, I didn't even know I could sum that up in like 5 minutes. But...
Yeah, good for you. You did, but I definitely want to have you back, and I will continue to follow your journey most definitely and learn from you and pay attention to the work you're doing. Congratulations on the boxes, trademarked by Christine Wayne. It's yours. No one can take it from you.
Go check out my website and the new shop.
Yes, for sure. All of the things.
I'm
Take care.